Hi, my name is Henrique Amorim. I'm originally Brazilian. I'm a FinOps practitioner, and recently I was working in the Danish Ministry of Taxation as a FinOps practitioner on a data platform. So it was very important for us to introduce FinOps as early as possible because as a one-man show, these concepts help engineers, architects, and other people in the team drive change. You need to understand that you can't do it all together. FinOps is everyone's job. So the earlier you introduce FinOps concepts and terminology into architectural decisions, into feedback loops, the better you're going to be able to leverage these resources into enacting change. So definitely leveraging these concepts is key to being a FinOps practitioner. Incorporating costs is definitely fundamental when making cloud decisions. Not only on the POC side, because it varies wildly when you're trying to project. We always told our teams that they should be trying something small scale, see how the costs go, scale it up, see how it behaves, because trying to budget or forecast from the get-go is very hard. But definitely it was a measure of success that we had with our teams that were developing our platform, is trying to figure out how much of their budget is there, are they reaching it, are they not, and how accurate is it, so we can also become better as time goes. So when making strategic business decisions in the public sector, it's very important to have a wide range of FinOps personas. So we most definitely have the contract manager, which can be inside procurement, it can be inside IT, it can be inside finance, so it really depends. We want to have architects as well, both the more general architects, because in the public sector we usually have someone setting the framework, setting the principles and the guidelines, and we have the more individual architects working from each of the business units or each of the platforms or product lines. And then we have the engineers as well. It's very important to have someone with an engineering lead perspective, which can talk about how they're going to behave in the platform, which kind of resources do they use, and how is it expected to scale. That's very important. So when advising other organizations, especially in the public sector, about FinOps, it's very important to take into consideration that most people are keen on optimizing. So because we're talking about taxpayers' monies, everyone is already inbuilt into being not cheap, but cost conscious, let's put it like that. So whenever you give them terminology, whenever you give them concepts and framework, it really helps them drive change themselves. And then when you come back to it afterwards, it's easier to have a conversation if you've already started the FinOps talk from the get-go and not only after the fact. So measuring value in the public sector, considering the taxpayers' money, is really tough. We don't have revenue, we don't have unit economics. So what we're trying to do in my team, especially when we were building a platform, was how faster or how more efficient or how more seamless are our features becoming for our end users. So we had a constant talk with them to value the business impact of our prioritization of the backlog. And then when we're talking about the end users of their products, so that means leadership was using Power BI reports or developers were using machine learning models, how is latency, how is value being delivered to them. So I would highly encourage people to talk to your business units, get the insights there, and figure out what is value. Is it speed? Is it latency? Is it SLA? Is it downtime? And use that as a measure to guide your FinOps backlog optimization or prioritization so that you have some kind of value North Star and you're not just guessing at what's going to bring the most value. Comparing the speed rates between the private sector and the public sector changes when it comes to FinOps is an interesting feat because the push that the private sector saw some years ago because of cost is what we're seeing in the public sector now. So I would say that we are a couple years behind, but because the public sector is being more and more involved in the conversation, they're not going through the same steps as the private sector. So we're also leapfrogging into some advancements. So we're also seeing AI, for example. It's not like we're going through data centers and licenses and SaaS before getting to AI. We're already putting that in. So also a little bit of advice for public sectors is respect the maturity of where you are, but also try to plug in whatever you can from the private sector. You don't need to wait for everything to believe that, oh, I'm already there, now I can use it. When thinking about newer practitioners in the public sector, my key advice to them is figuring out the narrative between the push for FinOps and delivery from engineering. So identifying where is it coming from? Is it a cost-saving exercise? Is it a governance exercise? And trying to pin down who is driving that change. And then on the other hand, who is going to benefit from these FinOps optimizations? Is it the engineer, is it the architect, is it the finance? Because once you have those pieces of the puzzle, you can really leverage change.
Hey everyone, producer Andrew here. Thank you so much for watching and for your support. For more FinOps content, go check out our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and leave comments and questions for all of our wonderful speakers. We appreciate your support.